Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Coffee Time with Byron. I'm your host, Byron. Alongside me is current pitcher for the Texas Rangers. Who knows, might be at the end of the year till after World Series. Who knows, might be a free agent. Who knows? We don't know yet. But alongside me is DeMarcus Evans. I want to say, are you a relief pitcher, starter? I know. I think.
I'm a relief pitcher.
Okay, so let's go with that. First I gotta go with thank you to Podcast One who sponsors this, and alongside them is betonline.net where you can get your goods for number one source in betting for football and the new start of the basketball season, which started last week. So go out, go place your bets. I don't bet, even though I could possibly win. Who knows? I don't know, but I never want to take a gamble. But this is the place, betonline.net. If you want to bet on UFC, they had one this past coming up. They'll have another one. Uh, Hockey's in full swing, basketball's in full swing. So go on to betonline.net. Even the World Series that just began, Game 6 tonight, you can bet on that still. So go there, get your bets in, and go out and win. And thank you again to Podcast One for doing this. But now, along to my guest, Mr. DeMarcus Evans. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey,
How are you?
hey, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Like I said, I know before we got on air, I know this was supposed to happen last year, but we all got busy, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of stuff going on.
exactly, I'm just glad I was able to do it.
hmm
um, so let's start off before we get into your career. Let's start off with the ever exciting World Series. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be biased here because I'm a Padre fan, even though I shouldn't be, but I'm a Padre fan. I was hoping that they would go at least beat the Phillies to go to the World Series. But I was like, nah, I'm happy if they didn't go anyway because the main thing I was happy was they beat the Dodgers. Now that they got that momentum and led them to the World Series, and it's been an off and on series, who do you think has the more advantage?
Oh,
Do you think
I think the Astros got the better advantage because they're at home right now, and they're at home. It's tough to beat them.
and do you think it'll go 7?
I mean, it's gonna be a good game. Now they got Valdez on the mound, so that guy's real good. So I don't know that guy curveball. And I remember last year in the big leagues watching him throw from the bull. I mean, from the dugout. I'm like, this guy's disgusting.
Yeah. Without a doubt, he is for sure. He's definitely one of the better pitchers, and I know they used him. Wasn't it him that you? No, they didn't. Because who was it that they used? I forget who it was, and I saw the game. I can't believe I'm missing it already. Who was it that started the game that combined for a no hitter? Was it him?
Oh, no Christian Javier.
Okay, who's another
It
stud.
was it was Javier, and then it went to Abreu, then Montero, and then Presley.
It's crazy because I said it from the beginning. I think it's going to go 7, and this might be one of the better World Series, even though I, of course, I know every team cheats, but they were the ones who just got caught cheating. They
Yeah, they
just
got the
got
one that caught.
exactly.
There,
So
but there was more like I mean the guys still good hitters like Bregman and all them guys are still great hitters. I mean they still hitting the ball real well right now. So I mean they still I ain't in none of that. I don't want to get in anything in that,
no,
but
I know I don't either because I don't. I
uh,
mean, yeah, it tarnishes the game, but I don't care. I think all
you
teams do it anyway. So I
yeah,
mean,
a lot of teams
I can't
cheat,
save
but
them. Yeah, exactly. Um,
I'm a pitcher, so we don't cheat that much. So
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do it unless
hmm
you're unfortunately being blamed for which is on your fault, which you'd have to agree. You'd have to say it's the pitcher's fault because I know you heard about it. McCullers tipping his pitches, how
hmm
bright because there's video of Harper
hmm
telling
yeah,
his
like
team
Bone.
yeah, exactly,
But
and it goes
that's what's crazy about being up there. Them guys, they know how they can check, they can look at anything and figure you out, and that's what's so good about them MLB hitters. They know everything about you. You lose if your glove an inch down from where your glove used to be, they know exactly what's coming.
Now, this is what I don't understand, and I'm still trying to put my finger on it. Now, if you were in Dusty Baker's shoes as manager, which I'm sure you want to be someday after you're done playing, uh, once you, if you known that about that stat where he on the curves that he threw most of the year that weren't being hit, and all of a sudden 5 of them get he throws are getting hit, wouldn't you think, oh, I gotta take this guy out? Like I gotta
Yeah, I
take this
mean,
guy out to go to the bullpen that his pitches are being tipped.
see, I'm not. I mean, Dustin Baker's a smart man. I mean, he's a great manager, but like, I guess you can say Les McCullers been doing great the whole playoffs. Like, the guy came back and started shoving. So I guess like if you gonna beat me my best pitch, like if I'm up there pitching, they beat my best pitch. I'm like, you just got to tip your cap to him. But he just, I guess nobody figured out like what he was doing. I guess Bryce Harper just knew. I mean, I saw a stat when I was watching the game where it said to righties he only throws fastballs and sliders, and to lefties he throw all sliders and then no changeups none. So I guess he just told him sit slider, and then if you're a righty, just sit fastball and slider, just look some over the plate. And I guess Alec Bohm, as soon as he saw it, oh, this is gonna be a slider first pitch, because he threw slider the first pitch to a lot of guys. So
Mm-hmm.
he just knew what was coming.
Yeah. Now, do you find it? I find this stat amazing. I don't know about you, but I don't know if you've realized it. In the past 4 years that the Astros have been to the World Series, 3 of them have been NL East teams. Can you believe that? Starting in
Yeah, it's crazy.
2019, and they're all wild card teams. Go
Hmm.
figure. All wild card teams. In 2019, it
That's
was the
I
Nationals.
did not know that, and that's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, the Braves, he was right.
Yep.
Then
2021 was the
then the
Braves,
Dodgers, then the Dodgers 2020, and the Dodgers didn't win it.
and then now this year the
It's the
Phillies.
Phillies. Well, I think the Astros gonna get them this year though.
Oh yeah, the Astros. I gotta say, Astros are. I think Dusty Baker's going to get his first World Series win, and it's well
Mm.
deserved because I watched the World Series back in '02 when he was coaching for San Francisco, and unfortunately he blew it then. So let's hope he don't blow it this time. Let's hope he
No,
learned from
he's not.
mistakes. Let's
He's
hope he learned
not. He's.
from mistakes.
I think he got to figure it out. I mean, he's a great manager, so I'm guessing he got to figure it out.
So before we get into your career, let's talk fast forward a bit to the off season, and before we get to your status too. I got to ask you about the off season coming up. Uh, who do you see making a move, and what free agents do you think are going to be signed?
Ooh, I really don't know who is a free agent this year. I ain't even gonna lie, but I'm just thinking. I guess other teams gonna go towards. They all everybody wants to win now, so they gonna no matter the money, no matter what's going on, they're just gonna be smart. It's gonna be. I guess there's gonna be a lot of guys that signs like 2 year deals and 3 year deals, not lengthened deals, unless you like the Bryce Harbors and stuff. But I just
Mm,
think they're gonna sign. They're gonna sign guys who like relievers that's say they in their 30s or whatever that's still producing. They probably gonna give them like a 1 year or 2 year. They ain't gonna be because it's a lot of young guys up there now. So a lot of teams gonna go more with their younger guys, and they just gonna have to trust them.
yeah, I agree. So now that brings me to you. You don't know what the future holds for you with the
Mm.
Rangers. You don't know yet what they're going to do. But uh, do you think they're going to resign you, or do you think you're going to be released?
I mean, this past season they DFA'd me, so I finished the year real good in AAA, and I was hoping to get back on the roster, but I understand it's the business side point of a lot of stuff. So I'm just working, trying to work it every day. I'm going to drive line this off season, ready to get to working. I'm working on it. I'm working on a lot of stuff. I just ready to get the opportunity to get where I want to be.
Have
So
you
whatever team gets me, just know they're gonna get a dog.
have you talked to any other teams? You don't have to name names, but have you talked to any yet?
Nah, I mean I haven't said any. I mean my agent ain't. We can't talk to nobody till after the World Series. So
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I guess after the World Series, I'm just gonna be working out, and I guess my agent gonna find what best fit what team best fits me, and that's what I'm looking for. I mean, the Rangers want to sign back. I love Dallas. I love CY. He's a great guy. A lot of great coaches. A lot of my guys I grew up with. They in the big leagues now. I mean, not grew up with, played with. Like one of my good friends. I'm actually in his wedding, and this next upcoming week. Yeah, I mean, I love to be with the Rangers, but just gotta see what happens.
So you were drafted in 2015, 25th round of the God. That's a lot of rounds in the MLB
Hmm.
draft. I can't believe how many rounds there are out of
Yeah, it's 40.
Mississippi. Out of Mississippi. Did you know you were going to be taken that I guess that low or no, sorry, that high in the draft? How'd that process go for you?
Well, I guess like so. I used to have a lot of guys. I mean, I had a lot of scouts in my games every time I pitched. I thought I was gonna go. They always tell me, "Oh, you top 200, top this," and I'm like, "All right." So I was out there just working,
Mm.
and came to the point to where I mean, I guess guys was just like, "Oh, we can just wait around on him." And it was what God blessed me to see is that I was the last guy in my draft, and then I made to the big leagues. So I was just like, it's all in God's plan. No matter where you get drafted, it's about what the work you gonna put in.
So yeah, I'm seeing right now you signed for 100,000,
Hmm.
and then you to in order to do that you foregone your career college commitment to Hines Community College.
Hmm.
How'd that turn about? Like, what made you ultimately decide to turn that offer down? Was it just the pay that sounded good to you at the time?
Yeah, it was just like I mean, coming from somewhere you man, a lot of money ain't a lot. I mean, 100,000 wasn't a lot because the taxes and everything. But my mom, I was just sitting there talking to my mom, and she was just like, "DeMarcus, if you want to go follow your dream, go follow it." And I was like,
Mhm.
"That's what I want to do. I want to get there so I can make sure everybody gets straight around me." And so I went and did it. I mean, it kind of started going up. So after I got drafted, it was good. I mean, the Rangers trained me real well, learned how to pitch a little bit, and now it's been good.
Now, what ultimately made you decide to want to pitch? Did you have a pitcher that you looked up to that made you decide you wanted to pitch instead of playing like a position?
No, I always pitched since a young age. Like I guess from when I got hurt in ninth grade, they moved me up to varsity in ninth grade, and I had like a growth thing in my shoulder. Like
Mhm.
my shoulder wasn't fully developed yet because I was still growing. Like I was only like 5'6" in ninth grade, and then freaking 10th grade came around. I was 6'2", 6'3", and
Mhm.
then I guess I was throwing like 7'6" in ninth grade, and I started throwing 88 in 10th, and I was just like, dang. Well, I guess I could just pitch. And then I started like striking a lot of guys out, and I just felt I like that adrenaline when you get when you strike somebody out. So I just like striking guys out, and then I
There
was
you
like, I just
go.
want to
There
pitch.
you go. Did you ever have that urge to like to do a position? I know you had that urge like
No,
after you struck out somebody, but did you ever want to like play a position?
yeah, I mean, growing up, I used to always be a third baseman and first baseman, and I used to always hit home runs and stuff. But as I got older, I just got straight because I played football as well. So I
Mhm.
just I just did pitching. I mean, sometimes I hit, but my high school coaches were like, "The more you just focus on pitching, don't worry about hitting." I was like, "You're right." So then I just started pitching, and that's all I did.
Now looking back at it today, since you just said you did football and you were trying to do two sports, do you think you could have excelled in football?
I'm 6'5", 270. So I mean, if I'd have stuck with that and just did the football workouts and took it more serious, I think I could have been okay. I could have been okay.
Do you think you could have had a possibility to pull a Dion and Bo and play both?
I don't think about that, but I mean, I think I could have had I think I could have had a good career of playing football.
What do you think you would have been in football?
I was a
Tight end,
I was a I was a defensive end.
defensive end. Okay, I could see that.
Hmm.
You had you had that height, weight. I could see that.
It was fun. I miss it. I mean, I actually think about it all the time. Like, dang, I miss like you get because like in baseball, you get mad, and you can't really show it, but in football, you get mad.
Yeah.
You like, oh yeah, I'm finna crush somebody. Now you
Oh
can
yeah.
do that, but not in baseball. You can't do it. You just gotta hold it all in and keep a even keel face.
How good were you in high school?
I was all right. I wasn't too good, but I did have a couple offers, but it was all just JUCO.
Gotcha. Junior college.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So after you sign with the Rangers, they send you off to, of course, where they send everybody off to rookie level Arizona
Mm-hmm.
League, and you make your professional debut. Now tell us about that experience. Did you have goosebumps?
Oh yeah, I was kind of scared doing going there. I was like, I didn't know what to expect, like what to do. I was still like green to a lot of stuff. So, but when I got there, I had a lot of. I started meeting a lot of guys and started. And actually, I met guys there. That's my best friends now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a good thing. I mean, we all pushed each other. We all mess around and have fun. So I mean, rookie level. I mean, I actually still I started doing well. I didn't know how to pitch. I was just trying to get outs, and it was fun. Actually, pitching, having a Texas uniform on, it was fun.
So you pitch 11 and looks like you pitch 11 and 2/3 there, and you obviously didn't have a win loss record, which is good, but you had a 2.31 ERA. Tell us about that stint there. How much did you learn, and who helped you along the line? What pitching coach and players helped you out along the way?
Actually, my pitching coach that was actually I mean he's from Tennessee. His name was Joyce. He actually passed away a couple years ago. His name was Joyce Seaver. He was my
Mm-hmm.
coach, and then I had Brown Schaus. Schaus. He was a big league pitching guy with the he made to the big leagues for a long time with the Boston Red Sox, and I got other teams, but he helped us out a lot. He was just like telling us how to what pitches, how to because I went from high school ball straight to a minor league ball. It was two different
Right,
balls, so your
right.
pitches weren't gonna do the same as it was. Just like going from double A to triple A or double A to the big leagues is two different things. But shout out to them, helped us out, made us feel comfortable. It was fun.
Right. Uh, Now you said you're close to friends now. You have any?
Mm-hmm.
I know you made your debut with the Rangers, higher up team in 2020. Now, did you get to play with any of them in the minors before they got called up?
Yes, I played with CD Pelham. He was in the big leagues in 2018, 19. He was in big. He could make to the big leagues in 18. And I was just he was lefty. This guy is a specimen. This guy was 6'6", 230, 1% body fat. He can jump 40-inch vertical, can throw a football 70 yards. He can run a 6'3" and a 6 out pitcher, and he throw left hands throwing 100. And he was just a guy that's probably one of my closest friends. And he was just yeah, we always compete against each other like just a friendly competition. And then I played with another guy named Joe Barlow. He actually in the big leagues right now at the Rangers.
Hmm.
And it was magnificent playing with them guys and seeing what they're doing now.
Now, since they were called up before you and you played with them, once you got there in 2020, what did they tell you, and did they give you any advice to help you along the way?
I mean, it's all about it's just a mindset. You just gotta keep motivating yourself and having like once you get the confidence and knowing you belong there, everything else is easy. I mean, it goes by easy. All you gotta do is just throw what you have that day, have fun, and don't take it for granted.
Now you split the year after you got drafted. You split the 2016 with the Arizona League Rangers and the Spokane Indians of Class A. Tell us about that going half and half. Uh, what experience did you take out of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, at first, like because I stayed in extended after this 2016, stayed in
Mm-hmm.
extended. I was pitching real well. My velo was going up. I went from throwing 92 to throwing 95, 96, and I was just like, man, this is fun. And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking I was gonna start off in Spokane, like move up a level, but I didn't actually end up changing me to a starter. So I ended up starting in AZL, and I was actually started doing well. Like I threw a no hitter. I ain't throwing no hitter. I stopped the game in the sixth inning.
Mm-hmm.
I went 6 innings to get one run. And that was probably the best. That's the one I remember the most. I was just throwing the ball, having fun. Man, actually, it's crazy. Me and Joe Barlow was piggybackers,
Mm-hmm.
but it gets the story gets better as my time goes on. When you get to that part, I'll tell you more about it. But me and him was piggybackers, and then I got moved up, and then I threw a no hitter and I threw five up there, and it was fun.
There you go. There you go. So you go in a combined 14 games, 12 starts, like you said. You went 1 and 2, 2.95 ERA, striking out 75 in 55 innings. That's honestly a good year. I mean, rookie ball still, hell, that's one of a year to get you to go called up to Double A. You think you could have had a chance to get called up that year with how
Mm-hmm.
well you were pitching,
Mm-hmm.
because those are good
Yeah.
stats.
Yeah. I was in short. I mean, the Rangers, they knew like they just want to keep my confidence up, and I wasn't a guy that can just. I don't think I was ready for it going up. I think they just wanted me to keep learning how to pitch. So I I just did what they wanted me to do and listened to what they were saying. I trusted them all the way.
Mhm. So then now comes the 2017 year. You split it with three different teams, it looks
Mm.
like. How hard and tough was that? I mean, that's three different
Yeah.
cities, three different teams.
Yeah.
You had a lot of travel there.
Yeah. I started off in low A, and then I had bicep tendonitis, so I went back to Arizona League. Then I went back to low A again. Then I went back to short season. But low A was kind of like a time for me. I had to learn how to throw, and I was facing guys in college more. Some guys have like a plan, so I didn't know exactly how to pitch like that. So then I went to Spokane. I had to finish up there. Like I still remember my meeting I had with our pitcher coach. He's like, I didn't expect you to still do well when you went back down because we thought you was gonna be mad and oh woe is me. But I was just like, it's still a game. I still gotta do what I have to do.
Now, you obviously said you had an injury. How tough was it for you to bounce back from that injury?
It was good. It was just like my mechanics was kind of not the best. I was always leading, like I was always late most of the time, so I lead my arm. So I got that little bicep tendonitis, but I went back to rehab and I got everything back, and my velo actually went back up, and it was a lot. It was better. I had just got stronger and did what I had to do.
Now, since you're a pitcher, I know you're not a starter, but relief pitchers get this too. Do you fear of that dreaded Tommy John surgery
I don't
sometime in the
even,
future? Do you ever fear of that as a
you know,
pitcher?
I don't even think about it. I just try to do a lot of arm care, and so I don't have to figure. I mean, don't have to go through that.
Good, good, good. Because that would be one hell of an injury. I could not imagine anybody going through that. Now
Hmm.
they say a lot when you come back. Uh, a lot of people get more strength out of their arm coming back from
Hmm.
that. But honestly, I don't see how. That's a whole complete tear, and then it's got to be fixed again. I don't see how velocity can go up after that.
Yeah, just a lot of because it's a year of training. You got to go a whole year just throwing and a lot of throwing program and then the strengthening stuff. So that's why a lot of guys throw harder when they come back because it's just nothing but training.
Right, right, exactly. Now tell us about this. You made your first. I know, granted, it wasn't with the Rangers, but you made at least an All Star appearance in the South Atlantic League. Tell us about that experience and what it mean to you.
2000, 2018 was like that's what changed my whole career around. Like I went from not knowing if I'm gonna play baseball anymore to having the
Mhm.
best year of my having one of the best years of my life. Like I think I had like 60 innings with like 100 and some 55 innings with like 100 strikeouts.
Yes, you did. Yep, yep,
Yeah, it was freaking it was
yep.
amazing. It was just that time I was talking. I was just sitting there. I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I just want to go home because it was just like a bad time. And then all of a sudden, one of my cousins had passed away. I was just
Mhm.
like, I just gotta do it now. I mean, my cousin gone. I gotta just dedicate this to him. So I ended up having one of the best years of my life.
Now, do you ultimately think it was him? Do you think it was him that told you, "Hey, you got to pitch no matter what. Don't quit because of me. I would want you to
Yes.
still pitch." Was it ultimately him that led you to that decision
Yes.
not
Because
to quit?
I couldn't even go to his funeral or anything because we had to go on the road. And I was just like, nah, I mean, I can't go to his funeral. I just gotta finish this year strong.
Now, how was that experience? So, was it like any all star experience? Would you say would it be like MLB? I know it's not equivalent to it, but I'm sure it's somewhat close to it. Not as even though it's minors, it's not as
I
popular
mean, it
as
was
it is. But
yeah,
I'm
it
sure
ain't
it's
as
got to be
popular
the
because
same
it's
format.
yeah, it's kind of like it's low A. So a lot of guys like, oh, this low A. Let's see if he doing this. But I was just like, I mean, it's still like, yeah, nobody ever seen that before. So I was just happy with that and happy that I ended up winning the minor league award with the Rangers. So it was kind of fun.
You still have that award with you?
Yeah, I still have it.
There you go. There you go. So then after that, the 2018 season, you had your All-Star year. You go back to the Arizona Fall League.
Mm-hmm.
You, like you said, you were named the 2018 Minor League of the Year. Then you get assigned back down to Class
High,
A again. Yep, High A,
high.
Class A. Yep, Carolina League to open the 2019 season. What was that experience like? And having
That
to start over?
team, that team was magnificent. We had Pete Fairbanks in our
Yep,
bullpen. We had Emmanuel Clase. We had Barlow. We had me. It was just like we won the games. We won games every day. It's like you show up to the park, you're like, yep, we're gonna win today. Because
I don't.
if a starter went like 4 or 5 innings, we had guys in the bullpen and just shut down everybody.
I didn't know much minors, but I knew about you guys down there. Yeah, you
Yeah,
had
we
stars
was
for the
we
team.
was turned. We had I think we finished the year. I mean, most of our guys left, but without us, we still won. Like I think we went 50-20 in the first half. It was crazy.
Yeah, and you had a record year yourself there. You went 4-0. You had an 81 ERA, 40 strikeouts, and
Hmm.
22 in the third innings.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was fun. We was just me and Barlow was just and Classe when he was there, we was just out there just striking out everyone. We was like, let's do it, boys. And if we'd have stayed together, we'd have won the whole league easy.
Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. You guys
Easy.
would have gone far that year if you guys would have stayed. But they promoted him when they did, and God, they haven't looked back since.
Mm-mm.
Because you look what Fairbanks has done with the Rays, and
Mm-hmm.
then
And then
look
look
at
at
now what Clase has
And Classe is the best reliever, and then Barlow was a closer for the Rangers last 2 years, and he's been shoving as well.
done. Mm-hmm. Yep. Uh, so then you were named 29 after that stellar year that you had. Um, you get promoted to tell us about this when you got the call because this is, I think, their Double A team, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Frisco.
Rough
Uh,
Riders.
yeah. Tell us about that experience and who told you that you were getting called up to Double A.
So actually, it was crazy. I was sitting there, me and Barlow, we was just sitting because me and him lived together. So I actually went to the movies to see John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
It had came out, and then I was in the movies just sitting there, and I wasn't on my phone. And I look at my phone, I just see all these missed calls. I'm like, who is this? And it's my coach. I was like, oh, I did something wrong. I'm like, I ain't do nothing wrong. So I call. He's like, I need you to come back and pack your stuff. And I was like, why I need to pack my stuff? He's like, well, you going double. I was like, oh shoot. So then I had to hurry up and drive all the way back home and pack my stuff and we had a flight the next morning. I had to pack everything up and ship my car. It was tough, but it was an exciting day. But
I bet.
then I got the double A and I got back with one of my CD Pelham
Mm-hmm.
and we was just having fun and that actually was a good year too. I was up there. I was kind of scared because I was like, they said these dudes in double A's can hit, blah blah blah. Then I got out there and I started pitching. I was just like, oh, I can do this. Like I go through a couple good hours. I was like, oh yeah, my confidence is up, or it's time to go. And I just started doing well, and then I ended up doing well there too. I think I had like a .9 there.
So that's funny. You didn't hear from general manager or owner at all. You had just heard from your coach that you were being
Yeah,
promoted.
I heard from my pitching coach in high.
Wow. Usually, you at least the guys I've had on, they at least get a call from some, not just their manager, but they at least get a call from, somebody higher up. Wow, I'm shocked on that one. I'm surprised they didn't
Hmm.
get, but yeah. Uh, then like you said, you get there to Frisco. You have a stellar year. Um, Now, do you think that ultimately helped you get up to AAA that year, or do you
No,
think?
I mean actually, I stayed in Double A the whole year. They had a lot of great guys. We had a lot of good guys in Triple A. We had like David Carpenter. All them guys was in AAA at the time. So I guess I stayed there and I finished out the year, but Barlow got promoted to AAA, and so I just stayed there and finished the year strong. And then I ended up after that season, I ended up winning the Rangers Award again. So I won it back to back
Yep,
years, and
finally,
then
yep,
and then
2019.
then I won the Baseball America one, and then ended up after that. Then I got put on the 40 man after that, and I was freaking lit. It was just a great year. Then I went play after the 19. I went and played in Dominican Winter League.
I was just about to ask you about that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
tell us about that experience and playing in another country. How was
It
that
was it
experience?
was it was fun. It was too fun. It's too much fun. But it felt like a Friday night baseball, a Friday night football, because
Mhm.
it's like 20,000 people in the stands, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah, they take their baseball seriously over there. Who would have thought? Because you would think soccer would be their
Hmm
main sport.
hmm They take it serious over there. If you give up a run, give up a hit, everybody like, oh, go back to the casa, go home. I'm like, goodness, bro, I'm only like 22, 21 at the time. I'm like, I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to get to the big leagues next year. I'm trying to learn how to do this, and then ended up finishing. I think I had a three. I only had like 10 innings, but I only had like a three. But it was fun.
Now, did you get to play with anybody from that went over ultimately over here to the majors? Did you get to play with
Yeah, I
anybody?
play. I played with Jumbo Diaz. I played with Neftali Feliz.
Hmm.
I played with Willie Castro, the guy with the Detroit Tigers. Um I played with a lot of guys. I played with so many guys, and I was just like all them guys. And I'm like, first time I saw Neftali Feliz, I was like, bro, I'm sorry, I don't want to feel like that guy, but I'm like, they praise you in with the Rangers. Like ever since
Hmm.
the World Series, that time he was going crazy.
Yep, that they
But it
do.
was,
They never forget that.
it, yeah, it was fun. It was too much fun.
Now, obviously, there was a language barrier. Did you have to learn their language, or did they speak perfect English for you?
Yeah, I
How?
mean, I tried to. I mean, they had a lot of like a guy we played with. He knew like Dutch. He was from Curacao, so he knew Spanish, English, Dutch, all kind of stuff. So most of the time we had to say something. Most of the guys over there knew some type of English. So when they talk to us, they'll try their best to talk to us, so we'll understand what they're saying. So it was good. It was fun.
Now, like you said, after that, you have that experience. You get added the following season to the 40-man roster. Um, Going into that year, the 2020 year, spring training, the COVID, all that, spring training, do you think that was your shot before the COVID hit? I know you guys did not know if you guys were going to play a season after that, which because of COVID, but did you think you had a legitimate shot early if the season started on time to make the roster opening day?
I don't think I was gonna make it over opening day because they had guys in the bullpen. I think I was gonna start in AAA like I was supposed to. But I was doing real good in spring training. I was up. I mean, my velo was up more than it's ever been, and I just thought I didn't. But when COVID happened, I got sent. As soon as COVID happened, I got sent down. I was like, okay, that's fine. But COVID year was just weird.
It was.
Everything was weird.
Yeah, yeah. I got to ask you because you're my only other current player that I've talked to. I talked to Andy Young, who was over there in Arizona
Hmm
with you guys for the Diamondbacks. He said the same thing. I'm hoping you'll say the same thing too. Because you guys were still in spring training. I remember it. I remember like it was yesterday after the Rudy Gobert thing in the NBA.
hmm
Shortly after that, a couple days after that, everything shut down.
hmm
After that happened, where were you, or who told you that everything was being shut down at the time and that you'd have to wait to actually see if there would be a season?
Yeah, so I was actually sitting in our apartment we had in Arizona, and it was like, yeah, well, I saw it on my phone first. Then the pitching coach called me. He was like, oh, well, baseball is canceled now. If you want to go home, go home. But I was just like, if I go home, I'm not gonna be ready if it ever comes back. So I just stayed in Arizona the whole time and trained and threw. And we had a couple guys out there, so I just stayed out there and just played.
Yeah, that year, obviously it was special for you because you had your first call up, and I'll ask you about that shortly. But I gotta ask you, that had to be an overall weird year for you, for everybody,
Yeah,
because you couldn't do nothing. You just had to go to the field, work out. You couldn't be really with family. You couldn't
mm-mm,
do nothing. There was no
mm-mm.
crowd, and I'm sure it was weird playing in those stadiums with no crowd. You had to
Yeah.
implement a sound base. How weird was it to play in that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a good thing for me because it kind of felt like I was on be okay because when you get fans in there, you can be they'll be taunting you and saying all kind of stuff. So when I first got called up, it was fun, but it kind of felt weird. But it was still baseball. I'm still up here facing guys like Albert Pujols and all these guys. I still gotta get them out. It was still fun, but it was just weird because I was ready to experience all the stuff everybody else was experiencing when they got caught up, but I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't get to go through a full rookie year and
Mm-hmm.
deal with uh, the rookie hijinks, or did you have to deal with that? Because you know how they
Mm-hmm.
get the, I'm sure baseball. You heard of this before. The tradition is what they do with the rookies. They have them dress up. Did they even do that? Have a chance to do that
Mm-mm.
with you, even though it was COVID, or did you have to
I
wait the
didn't.
following year?
I didn't do it at all because I guess they did MLB passed a rule like anti hazing, so guys thought it was hazing. So I didn't actually have to do all that. Yeah, I missed like my that COVID year messed up a lot of stuff. Like it messed up everything.
It did. So you get through you hear about the 60 game season. I know you guys were happy just to have a season, but it was a lot of honestly, I think it should have happened earlier, but you guys and the owners were having disputes and couldn't decide. You think that ultimately hurt the decision to play earlier because you guys honestly had a chance to kind of play earlier. You
We
had to
could
start.
have.
You could have played earlier than football before they
Mm-hmm.
started their preseason. You had a chance to start, I think, in
Like
June. I
In
think it
June.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
We,
because the owners and the players couldn't agree, you think that
yeah.
ultimately hurt you guys having that season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't be getting none of that. I was a rookie, so I ain't say anything. I was just sitting back, just hearing guys talk about it. I was just like, whenever we play, we play. If we don't, we don't. So I was just out there just study working and throwing bullpens and everything. I was just waiting, just trying to stay ready, just in case
Yeah,
it does. Just like it's just weird. Everything been weird with my situation. Even
yeah,
even after that year, then the 2021 year come, and then when the lockout.
yep,
Well,
yep.
no. Then after 2021, I was a guy. I got caught up. I tore my lat at the end of 2020, and then I had to go through rehab. And then 2021 comes. I get caught up. I get called down. Get caught up. Get called down. I was a guy that was up and down, so it was kind of weird. And then you had to keep that same mindset, like, oh, I gotta stay ready because you can get caught up anytime. Sometimes you be thinking you're not gonna get caught up, and boom, you getting caught up. And then it was just I think I got sent up and down like 6 times in 2021.
Now,
But
go ahead. Finish
yeah,
what you're saying.
you good.
Now, would you say because it was weird? Obviously, COVID that was a weird year, but would you say when you were in the alternative training camp or whatever spring training, whatever they called it, was that actually spring training to you guys to, or do you think that was an actual kind of like season a little bit for you?
It
Take us
was
through
kind of like
that because that
it was just basically you just trying to stay ready. You facing the same guys every day. Sometimes you got that pitch and you got some of the guys in the front office playing shortstop, some of the guys playing second base. You just up there trying to get your work in just to stay ready, just in case if they want to call you up, they call you up. But it was kind of weird. But it still ended up being good for me, so it was good.
so at the end of now, let's get to your debut because I'm curious about this. You get called up September 15th, 2020. Now, who told you you were being promoted? How nervous were you and how excited were you to actually say, hey, I actually made it to the big leagues? How
So
excited?
I was actually sitting there playing. I was playing Call of Duty, just sitting there playing Warzone, playing Warzone, and my phone goes off. I'm like, who is this? And then I answer, it's my GM at the time, and he goes, "Yep, hey, you ready? You going to the big leagues?" I was like, "Let's go!" And I was just sitting there like, "Well, I'm going to the big leagues tomorrow." I ain't have to do nothing weird because it was already in the same spot. I was right at Globe Life Field. They played at Globe Life Park or whatever. So
Right.
I was just like, "Let's go." Then I got called up, so I ended up going to we played against the Astros actually, but I didn't pitch the whole series. Like 4 days, I didn't pitch,
Right.
and then we go to Anaheim, and the first guy, the second game there, the first guy I faced is Albert Pujols,
Yep. You were saying that. Yep.
and he freaking hit a home run off me. I didn't get a
Oh,
strikeout. Second
Hey,
pitch of the game. And the crazy part about it, my first strike in the big leagues was Albert Pujols' 661st home run.
there you
So I
go.
got the ball where he hit his home run off of.
Oh, he gave it to you?
No, I just got it because that's my
Oh,
first
okay.
strike. That's my first strike. So I still got it in the frame. I was like, I should have let him try to get him to sign it, but I was like, nah, he
Yeah,
hit a
you
home
should.
run off
Yeah,
me.
you should have tried to. He would have too. I heard he's that kind
hmm
of dude. So yeah, you should have. You should have got him to sign it.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
awesome. How nervous were you to face a Hall of Famer? Because you looked
Man.
up. I mean, I'm sure you remember him, but you didn't look up to him. But I'm sure you watched his career growing up, and then
Yeah,
now
he
all of a sudden you're
yeah,
facing him.
the crazy part about it, it was just like the first ever MLB game I went to was at the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Atlanta Braves.
Mhm.
And he hit a home run that game I went to and in St. Louis. And the first guy I faced is Albert Pujols. And he hit a home run in the same exact spot that he hit the one I saw when I was growing up.
Oh, dang.
It's crazy. It was crazy.
Did you have jitters facing him? I know you had to watching him.
I
Oh,
could I could I could I couldn't feel my legs up there, and I was like, I can only imagine if fans was here. But the Angels really don't have that many fans there because
no,
I mean
no. So did you have to face Shohei and
I
Mike
faced
Trout as
Show
well?
I ain't faced Mike Trout, but I faced Shohei, and that was I faced Shohei the next year in 2021. I think
There you go. How was that? How was that?
I sh- I threw I threw some I walked him in or walking him, but I had some competitive pitches against him. But I was just hoping I was like, please don't leave nothing so he can hit it over and it be all over ESPN. So I mean, it was fun.
Talk about a debut though, having to go up against the machine, as they call him. That's a debut
It was
there.
crazy. It
That's
was
a
crazy.
debut. Now, obviously, obviously, who was your first ever strikeout? Did you get to keep the ball from that too?
Yeah, my first strikeout was Jared Wash.
Of the Angels?
I struck him
There you
out, and I still got the ball, and I still got the video of him. But I was just like, I was happy because I was like, I ain't gonna be able to strike nobody else out here because they was just like foul off and foul. I threw a fastball over David Fletcher's head and over his head, and he just ended up getting hit off there. I'm like, I don't know what else I can do.
go. So you should have had him sign it too.
Yeah.
I know he's a nobody, but hey, you should have first strikeout. Why not? Why not get this guy to sign it?
Mhm. Oh God, but he is. I mean, he's right now. He's a great hitter now. He's been going off. He's an
So
all star this year too.
do you remember who your first win was off of in the majors?
I don't think I got to win because I always pitched in like games that was like it was down by 1,000.
Down, down. Okay, fair enough. But you will get it soon. You will get it sooner or later.
But I did strike out a lot of guys that was I thought they was gonna crush my stuff, so that's a good thing too.
Yeah, yeah. Um. So, what do you think is? I gotta ask you then. What do you think ultimately is the problem with the Rangers then? I mean, do you think it's just the Astros and the Mariners? The Mariners have gone better. What ultimately is the Rangers' issue? And you don't have to answer it if you don't know it, but in your opinion, though, what do you think is wrong with the Rangers? Why can't they get to the level they were at 10 years ago?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't. I really. I mean, CY is doing a lot of great things right now. Like he's got a lot of guys. He's trusting a lot of people, and I'm thinking the Rangers gonna be real. They going next couple of years they'll be on and ready to go. I think probably because CY we got him now, and he's making a lot of moves, and he's signing like Corey Seager, Marcus Simeon,
Yeah, I saw that.
and all-
Yeah,
and,
last
and
yeah.
all and, yeah, and all these guys. So I'm guessing it's gonna, like probably next year is gonna be better, and the following year is gonna be they're gonna be a playoff team for sure.
Now, what is your pitching repertoire, and what do you use mainly to go after a hitter?
But I'm basically a big fastball guy, so if I can see if you're not on my fastball most of the time, I'm just throwing fastballs. If I mean I'm throwing a curveball and a cutter now, so most of the time I get a lot of guys out on my cutter most of the time and fastballs, but fastball mostly.
Fastball mainly.
hmm
There you go. Okay. So I'm going to give you a scenario since you're a pitcher. Okay, let's see what you would do in this regard if you were on the mound. Um, it's late in the game, eighth inning, two runners on, one out. The count is 3-2, and the hitter is looking for a fastball down the middle. What would you give him, and what would be your pitch to ultimately get him out?
I'm throwing a fastball. Fastball top of the zone. That's my bread and butter. I'm going with my best pitch at the best at that time.
There you
And I
go.
think I really I mean I believe in my fastball a lot, so I'm throwing a heater. If you hit it, you hit it. If you don't, I got
So what do you top out as? Over 100?
you. Nah, usually I top out at like 96, but like towards now I'm like top out like 94, 95. But this off season I'm working to be back to 95, 96.
Now, ultimately, you said you had gotten hurt. Now, do you think that ultimately led to their decision to designate you for assignment was because you
Yeah, I
got
think
injured?
yeah, I got injured and my velo kind of went down a little bit. I was tore my lat, so I was throwing like 91, 92. And they really wanted me to be 95, 94, but it just wasn't. In my mind, I was just kind of cautious because when I was throwing, I felt that tear in my lat, so I was kind of babying it a little bit. But now
Mhm.
I'm over it, and now it's time to. I'm ready to go.
Now, since you're still a current player, have you made any late relationships with any other players that are, say, we're on the Rangers or in any other team? Have you made any close friendships?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of like friends I talk to sometimes. Like I remember in 2020, I ended up facing Alex Bregman, and I struck him out, and I ended up posting a video on my Instagram, and he ended up coming on it. He was like, "That's a good fastball, man." I was just like, "He's been good." I talk to him sometimes, just like
Mm,
chopping it up with him. I actually this off season I met last off season I met CC Sabathia,
mhm.
Cameron Maben. I met all them guys, and it was magnificent. Them guys was like cause you see guys on TV on the how they are act, but you get to meet these guys and they all just the same. They all cool and same people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they were. I'm not going to say legends, but well, Cece will be. I don't know about Maven. Spathia, I know will be a legend. But yeah, it's got to be amazing to meet guys like that. That guys that you looked up to
Hmm.
growing up, for
Yeah,
sure.
them guys was dope.
Now, looking forward to spring training of this year. What do you think you need to work on in your game to make you a better player?
I just need to go in and just believe in myself and get outs and have my velo to where I know it's gonna be good, and that's all I'm working. I'm focused on is just trying to be a guy that I can just be 94, 95 and be able to command my off speed, and that's what I'm gonna do. Just work on.
Now, every pitcher has a regimen or a pre ritual going in on the mound before they take the mound. Do you have one?
I just go to mine and just I pray like God be with me, have my cousins be with me, and just come on, let's get these outs. 3 outs, that's all I need,
There you go.
and
I couldn't
breathe.
have said it better. I couldn't say it any better. So let's talk a little current because I know you still follow it. We just talked about a little about the World Series. I got to ask you about teams in your division. You pitched against them in the 2020 year slash 2021 year time mixture. Um, who do you see out of those teams besides the Mariners, who did pretty good this year? Do you see any of the other teams in that division competing with the Astros? Or do you think they're too power heavy?
Yeah, Astros, they got great coaching staff, great guys around. They got good analytics, great everything. So they always gonna be one up on everybody. It's just about that day and what they got. But most of the time, the Astros is probably one of the biggest powerhouses in our division.
And you think for years that's going to happen, huh? And
Hmm.
nobody's going to take him down.
Yeah, I think the Rangers gonna take them down, but I think from now the Astros always gonna be good because they got great arms, just steady coming, arms and arms and arms. Like Hunter Brown, that guy I faced him this year. That guy was unbelievable.
Hmm. So
And
now let's talk about, because every sport is piled in it now with analytics. What's your take on analytics? Do you use that as pitching, or do you go off by instincts?
see, I like analytics, but I just feel like I mean you can get all these scout reports on every hitter and everything, but you never know what you're gonna have that day. Like you can say this guy can get out on a curveball down, but what if you ain't got your curveball that day? If you can say, oh, you can beat this guy with a fastball up, but what if you ain't got your fastball today? You got to know what swing he has at that plate appearance and knowing what can you get him out on. If you slowed his bat down, if you need to throw this pitch 3 times, if you need to throw this pitch twice, if you need to just hold off on this pitch and throw the last pitch last, like you just don't know. But analytics is a good thing to help with confidence for me. But I just feel like it just depends on what you have that day. It's a good thing to have like what you can get them out with, but you just gotta know what you have that day.
Now, ultimately, who makes the decision to throw the pitch? You or the catcher? Because I know the
I,
catchers
I'm
read like signs. So
well for me, I'm always trusting the catcher because they can see it better. I mean, I see it a real bit, but they see it better than I do so I just go off what the catcher thinks.
okay. So normally it's the pitcher that decides, but you in your case you just let the catcher do it.
Hmm.
Okay, that's a different approach. I never heard of that one before. That's different.
Hmm. Oh, because all the catchers I've been with, like Jose Trevino, Gold Glover. He's
Mhm.
with the Yankees. He was with the Yankees this year. Did real well. So every time I pitched, it was either him or Heim, and there was two great catchers. So I always just trusted them, and every catcher out because I mean they learning just how I'm learning. So if I mean they've been in the big leagues longer than I have, so I'm gonna trust what you have. I'm not a guy that's gonna shake off, and I'm gonna trust everything you tell me to put down. I'm just gonna throw it as hard as I can and try to get him out or get a strike.
And I've got to ask you your opinion. Baseball today, to me, basically has gone regional. It's not national no more like it used to be. What do you think baseball can do, personally, in your opinion? What can they do to better get
Yeah,
knowledge of their player? You get what I'm saying? Get better
yeah.
knowledge of.
They got. I mean, teams got to start like broadcasting they talents. Um, they got to start not putting blackouts on the dang on games. Let people watch every game. Like you put on basketball, you see basketball. Like Trevor Bauer said it best. You see Steph Curry shake somebody and shoot a three. It's all over Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah,
So if that's what they need to start doing, everything they got to start broadcasting everything to get. I mean, still got a lot of fans, but they got to have people. They got to start being able to letting people watch any game they want. And it's the only
yeah,
way you're gonna get fans because just like now, you pay $200 to get the MLB pass, but you can't watch every game because it's a blackout. I'm like, why is it a
blackout.
blackout?
I agree, and that's what I'm slowly slowly I've gone away from your game on is because of that. They don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to. It's gone so regional. They don't know how to establish their players and
Mm-hmm.
make them more noticeable. It's not national no more. I mean, yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
have your nationally teams, but they're not even on a national basis every day being covered.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But
like it's not like what it used to be. And baseball used to be America's pastime to get noticed like that, and
mm-hmm.
it's not that no more.
Yeah,
I
they
agree
just
with
got. I
you.
mean, people
These
people
blackouts
just
got
gotta.
to stop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you got people that really want to watch baseball and they be like, oh, let's put this game on and say blackout, they can be like, well, we don't need to watch this one. Let's put something else on. Then that's why you get to see all these guys football and basketball because you can't watch baseball. And I'm just like, why?
yeah, I agree. Because I'm in the Tampa area, so say if I wanted to watch it on, even though I get it here locally, I can't watch it on the pass because it's
Mm.
blackouted. I
Yeah,
like
just like
even if
figure it
I would
out.
have even if I were to watch, it won't even give me the option. Even if I were to watch the other team's broadcast playing the
Mm-hmm.
Braves, it wouldn't let me because it's blackout. It's like, come on. I
Yep,
get it.
that's how it
I get
is.
it locally, but I agree. I agree with you. They got to do something better in that regard,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, also promoting their players too. Honestly, because I mean, it took Tatis Jr. having that stellar year last year. Look how long. Look how much it took him to get promoted just
Mm-hmm.
nationally. And
That's how it is.
but yet you see Vlad Guerrero Jr. doing the same thing that he did last year, but no publicity for him.
It's crazy. Then you see like Bryce Harper went off like last year. Nobody. It was like,
Oh, but yeah,
dang,
exactly.
Bryce Harper hit 300, and you know, it
Ex-
was like, I ain't nobody knew.
Nobody
You know,
knew
it's
except
like,
the
cause
Philly market. Yeah,
yeah,
nobody knew.
yeah,
It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying. They got to start broadcast. Like, if I can do it myself, I mean, I can broadcast myself, but once you start broadcasting yourself, that's when they step in like, you got to stop all that. Blah blah blah. I'm like, that's the only way you're gonna get your own fans because they ain't gonna do it for you.
right.
Then they start broadcasting the wrong people. You got dudes like, oh, this guy's homegrown. He's from Texas. Let's just put him. And this guy ain't doing nothing for the team. This guy, you don't even know what goes on in the locker room. This guy's not
Mhm.
even a good teammate, and you just broadcast him everywhere. You don't know none of that. But if you broadcast the right people, that's gonna get you like get people with the great personalities, the people that's actually doing well, not the guy that you think that got the best potential. You need to broadcast the guys that are actually doing it right now.
Yep, I
But
agree.
if you tell people that, that's when everybody starts trying to blackball you and say you doing this and doing that. And I'm just like, this is
Yep,
what's wrong with the world now because nobody can accept you being real to nobody anymore.
yep.
Everybody got to sugarcoat everything, and it's not something you're supposed to do. I mean, you think if God came there right now, He wanted you to be like, oh, it's okay, you all right. Let's just do him. He ain't do good all his life. Let's just broadcast him. No, get the people that's actually the good people.
Yep, I agree. Couldn't have said anything better. So now I got to ask you. I know you're young. You're still young. Where do you see yourself after you're done with baseball? Do you see yourself doing another job? You see yourself maybe coaching, being front office, scouting? What do you
I
see yourself?
I see myself. Because I know. I mean, having great people around me, my girlfriend around me, everybody's around me that's actually pushing me. So all I'm worried about is trying to make them have the best life they can. So
Mm,
that's what I'm trying to do. Keep God first, and I'm just trying to. After this is said and done, I just want to keep having money coming in to where I can. Sometimes I can open up my own like a little academy or whatever, and help those that's less fortunate. Because growing up, well, I'm from Mississippi, you had to pay. My mama couldn't pay
right, right,
$100 a month or $200 every time I go and got a lesson or anything. I had to learn
right,
everything on my own.
right.
So I wanna just open up something to all the kids. Like you don't have to be in the streets or do all this bad stuff. You can just come here and get your work in. You can go field ground balls. You can go hit baseballs. You can go throw baseballs. That's what I want to do.
I couldn't have said any better, and I do thank you for your time. I'll stay in touch.
Anytime. Thank you.
I'll stay in touch with you. I'll send you the episode. I'll tag when I post it. I will tag you, but I'll also send it to you as well, so you can listen to it. Um, but yeah, I do thank you for short notice again coming
Thank
on.
you.
Appreciate it, and I'll definitely stay in touch. It was a
Yes,
pleasure.
sir. All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
All
and I'll
right.
definitely stay in touch to see where you go this off season. So
Yes, sir.
definitely,
I will let you know for sure.
definitely. All right, man. You have a good
All
night.
right.
Take care.
You
All
too.
right.
All
All
right.
right. Bye. DeMarcus Evans, everybody. Hope he gets well. Hope he stays with the Rangers. If not, I hope he tends to go somewhere off and propel his career. But thank you again. This concludes episode number 104 or 105, somewhere around there. I thank you again to draftonline.net to go get your picks off MLB, the World Series coming about, NBA games just started up, and NHL still going around. Football coming up this weekend. So thank you to betonline.net. Get your bet on, have fun, play safe, Until then, and thank you to Podcast One as well. You guys have a good night. Take care.